Hey everyone, it's Lakshmi Tiwari and today we will discuss a very important topic of the zoology and botany also, that is called the cell. Cell is also known as the unit of life. So at first we will discuss about what the introduction of the cell. So without being any late, let's start. What's the introduction of the cell? So, as we also know that the cell is the structural and the functional unit of the living organism. So, what is the cell? Cell is the structural. It's important point to note, and the functional. So, the cell is the structural and the functional unit of the living organism, and actually too also because the plant and the animals both are made up of these units. So mean to say that it's true to the cell is the small unit of the plants and the animal, and the plant and animal both are made of these units. On the basis of these units, living organisms have been divided into the two groups. How many groups? Into the two groups. The first one is the unicellular and the next one is the multicellular. So at first we will discuss about what is the unicellular. So as you can see by the name, the uni mean to say that which is one in number or which is single in number, that is called the uni. And cellular means cell, and mean to say that the cell which is single in number, that is called the unicell. And the animals or the living organism who bearing the unicell or the single cell, such type of the animals are called the unicellular animals. So what is the unicellular? And unicellular animals start their life from a single cell. That's important. It's important topic to note that the single cell mean to say that the unicellular animal start their life by a single cell or the unit. Mean to say that their body is made up of single cell, as I already told you. And next, multicellular. So here we learn what is the multicellular. Uh, what type of the which type of the animals or plants are the called the multicellular. So multicellular mean to say that the multicellular organism are those which are made up of more than one cell. Who is multicellular? Multicellular organisms are such type of the organism who is made up of more than one cell. Mean to say that the multicell. So the animal who bearing the more than one cell is called the multicellular. These organisms start their lives from a single cell. Mean to say that initially they start their life with a single cell, but after that they continue division. That's important. They continue division and develop into a multicellular body. Mean to say that in the initial condition, the multicellular animals bearing a single cell, but after the division, right? After the division, they develop into the their body is changed into the multicellular body. So, and the next one is the definition of a cell. So here we discuss what's the definition of the cell. Shell is the structural, right? Structural and the functional unit of life. As I already told you, the cell is the structural and functional unit of the life. Or we can say that cell is the cell is the unit of life. Cell is the unit of life because our body is made up of cell. and a group of cells made the tissues, and a group of the tissues made organ, and a group of organ made our body. It's important point to note. The next one is the types of cells. So there are the two types of the cell. The first one is the prokaryotic cells, and the next one is the eukaryotic cells. So prokaryotic cells are such type of the cells in which there are found primitive type of the nucleus, or the stage of the nucleus is primitive type in the prokaryotic cells. What is the mean of the next eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic cells means good or well nucleus. In such type of the cells, the condition of the nucleus is good and well. So further we can see here, we can see that a structure of a plant cell. Okay, it is the plant cell, the structure of the plant cell. So here we will discuss one by one what's the difference between the plant cell and the animal cells, and what is the same in the between the plant cell and the animal cell. And here we discuss one by one the organelles of the cells. So first organelles in the plant cell is the nucleus. So nucleus is a very common. It is found in the plants and the animal cells also. So that is called the nucleus, and it is found in the center of the plant cell. And the next one is the next important organ of the cell is the nucleolus. And the next one is the peroxisomes. Okay, and the next one is the ribosome. Ribosome are found in the plant cells and animal cells also. And the next one is the amyloplast. That's important. Amyloplasts are found in the plants. What is the mean of this word here? We consider that what is the mean of the word amyl. Amyl mean to say that the starch in the plant store their food in the form of the starch, that is called the amyl. And in the animal cells, in the animals, they store the cell store their food in the form of the glycogen. And the next one is the cytoplasm. Here, this is also an important organelle of the plant cell. The next one is the cell wall. That's important. In the plant cell, the existence of the cell wall is necessary, and the cell wall exists in the plant cell. But in the animal cell, there is a lackness of the cell wall. And the next one is the cell membrane. Here it's also the important organelle of the plant cell, that is called the cell membrane. And the next one is the mitochondria. It's very important organelle of the plant cell and animal cell also. What is the mitochondria? Mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell, right? Powerhouse of the cell. And it is the mitochondria. Here you can see that it is usually the rod shaped and spherical, and it also is smaller than the plastids. The next one is the vacuole, and the next organelle is the chloroplast. Here it's important to note that the chloroplast is found in the plant cell. It is not found in the animal cell. In the chloroplast, chlorophyll is present, and due to by the chlorophyll, the color of the leaves become green. So this is important to note that the chloroplast is found in the plant cell, not in the animal cells. The next one is the Golgi apparatus, and it is also known as the Golgi body. And the next important plant cell organelle is the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. So further we will discuss the distinguishment. Distinguishment mean to say that the difference between the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells. So let's see what's the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So here we suppose that this is the chamber, this is the column of the prokaryotic cells. This one, and the next one, it's the column of the eukaryotic cells. Got it? So our first point is that the prokaryotic cells are the primitive type of the cells. So mean to say that in the prokaryotic cells there are found the primitive type of the cell. And in the eukaryotic cells are well developed. Next one is in prokaryotic the Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, mitochondria. These cell organelles are absent. Here is important point to note that the Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, and mitochondria are absent in the prokaryotic cells, but in the eukaryotic cells, these cell organelles are present. Ribosomes. Next one is the ribosomes. In the prokaryotic cells, ribosomes are found 70S type. And in the eukaryotic cells, ribosomes are found 70 and also 80S type. And the next one is the cell wall. In the prokaryotic cells, the cell wall thin and covered with mucilage. So in the prokaryotic cell wall is covered with the mucilage, but in the eukaryotic cells, in eukaryotic cells, cell wall made of the cellulose and the pectin. Here important point to note that the cell wall of the eukaryotic cells are made up of the cellulose and the pectin. And the next one is that in the prokaryotic cells, vacuoles are absent. Here's important. Vacuole is absent in the prokaryotic cells, but in the eukaryotic cells, the vacuole are present. Next, here we will discuss about in the prokaryotic cells, mitosis and meiosis. So the mitosis and the meiosis cell division, right? The mitosis and meiosis cell division absent in the prokaryotic cells. But in case of the eukaryotic cells, the mitosis and meiosis cell division are present. And the next one is the photosynthetic system. In the photosynthetic system, the chloroplast absent. The chloroplast absent. And in case of the eukaryotic cells, the chloroplast are present. And the next one is that we will discuss lysosome. So in the prokaryotic cells, lysosome absent, but in case of the eukaryotic cells, lysosome are present. Next we will discuss parts of the cell. Here is very important. The parts of the cell. So the cell is mainly divided into the three parts. First part is called the protoplasm. First part is called the protoplasm. The next one is the vacuole, and the next one is the cell wall. So at first we will study about the protoplasm. So Protoplasm is usually found in all living cells. It's important. In the living cells, protoplasm are found, but in the non-living cells, it is not found, and without of the protoplasm, or the cells which are protoplasmless are dead. So in the words of the Huxley said that the protoplasm is the physical basis of the life. What Huxley said? Huxley said that it is the physical basis of life. It's important to note. And the next one is the cell which is protoplasmless. Mean to say that the lack of the protoplasm in the cells, such type of the cells are called the dead cells. Mean to say that cell without the protoplasm are dead. So here we will discuss about the discovery of the protoplasm. So protoplasm was discovered by Dujardin, a scientist whose name Dujardin in 1835. In the period of the 1835, Dujardin discovered the protoplasm, but he used the word sarcode. But in 1835, when Dujardin discovered the protoplasm, he gave the name sarcode, not the protoplasm. He gave the name sarcode for it. But after that, after the Dujardin, a scientist named Purkinje. It's important. It's important to remember that after the Dujardin, Purkinje gave the name protoplasm. So the protoplasm name is given by a scientist named Purkinje. Next we will discuss the structure and the function of the different part of the protoplasm. So here we will discuss the parts of the protoplasm, the function and the structure of the protoplasm. So here the two parts of the protoplasm, first one is the cytoplasm and the next one is the nucleus. So at first we will discuss what is the cytoplasm, and it's also the first part of the protoplasm. So what is the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the nucleus is surrounded by the part of the protoplasm is called the cytoplasm. Mean to say that the nucleus is surrounded by a part of the protoplasm which is called the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, there are found different type of the cytoplasmic organelles. So here we will discuss one by one about the cytoplasmic organelles. So first organelle is the mitochondria. The next one is the plastid, and the next one is the endoplasmic reticulum, and the next one is the ribosomes, and the next one is the Golgi complex, and the next one is the centrosome, and the next is the flagellum and the cilium, and after that the lysosome, and after that the spherosome, and the next one is the lomesomes, and the next one is the microbodies. So at first we will discuss about plastids. So what is the plastid, what its functions, how many types of the plastid are found in the plant cell. So I already told you that in the plant cell there are found the plastid, but in the animal cell it is not found. So the word plastid, here important to know that the word plastid was first used by a scientist named Haeckel. So the scientist named Haeckel in 1865, he used the word plastid first time. So we will discuss what the shape and size of the plastid. So it is flat and circular, or we can say that the spherical in shape. So it is the flat and circular in shape, and it is usually found in the plant cell, not in animal cell. It is found in the plant cells. Here we will see that the classification of the plastids. It's important on the basis of the color. It's important to remember, on the basis of the color, it is divided into the three parts, or we can see that it important into the three categories. Means the plastid divided into the three categories. The first one is the leucoplast. The next one is the chloroplast, and the next one is the chromoplast. So at first we will discuss about the leucoplast. This is the first category of the plastid, that is called the leucoplast. So at first uh, we know that what is the meaning of the word. So the leucoplast is uh, divided into the two parts. One part is called the leucose and the other part is called the plast. So it is the leucoplast. What is the meaning of the word leuco? The meaning of the word leuco is the white or colorless, and the plast mean to say that the living. So generally we can say that the leucoplast are white in color or colorless in nature. And the next one is the amyloplast. So here we can see a word amyl. The amyloplast is made up of the word amyl plus plast. So the meaning of the word amyl mean to say that starch, and it's important to remember that in the plant stored their food in the form of the starch, but animal stored their food in form of the glycogen. And the next one is the next subcategory of the leucoplast is the elioplast, and the next one is the proteinoplast. It's also the subcategory of the leucoplast. And here the next is the chloroplast. It is also found in the plants, not in the animals. And due to the presence of the chloroplast, the color of the leaves become green. Why the colors of the leaves become green? Due to the presence of the chlorophyll. In the chloroplast, there are found a pigment that is called the chlorophyll, and by the presence of due to the chlorophyll, the color of the leaves become green. And the next one is the mitochondria. Here, this is it's very important cell organelle that is called the mitochondria. Mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. So the first time a scientist named Colliker, right? Colliker. In which time? In the period of the 1880. So first time by the Colliker in 1880 discovered it. Who discovered the mitochondria? Mitochondria was discovered by a scientist named Colliker in 1880. Got it? Where he discovered the mitochondria? He discovered the mitochondria in the insect cell. In the cells of the insect, he discovered the mitochondria in first time. But in 1819, a scientist named Altman, that's a nice name, and it's important to remember the name of the scientist, Altman. Oh, Altman. Altman described it in the cells. Who described in the cells? Altman described the mitochondria in the cells, but he gave the name it bioplast. His name he is given the name is given by him, bioplast. After that, a scientist named Sebenda, it's important to note, Sebenda gave the name mitochondria. So if anybody ask you who gave the name mitochondria, so you replied him, Sebenda. Sebenda gave the name mitochondria. And if anybody said that, if anybody asked you that, who discovered the mitochondria first time, then your answer will be the Colliker, a scientist who was a scientist in 1880, discovered the mitochondria in the insect cells, and after that in 1890 Altman described the cells and named it bioplast. And here we will discuss what the shape and size of the mitochondria. So mitochondria, it is rod shaped and spherical, mean to say that rounded. The mitochondria is rod shaped and spherical, and where it is found? It is found in the cytoplasm. And what's the size of it? It is smaller in comparison to the plastid. So it is smaller than the plastids. And the last one is the functions of the mitochondria. So mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. Here it's important to remember the mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. And I want to tell you in a very concise way about the plastids. The plastids or the chloroplast are called the kitchen of the cell. So here I conclude this lecture, and in the other lecture we go ahead. So thanks for watching my video.